Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening, good evening. How are you? Hello, Jacqueline. Jacqueline's already here. Who else is here? Why do I feel that this room is super dark? Can you see me or does it look a little darker than usual? Maybe I need to move it a little bit. I think um, maybe because it's nighttime, right? We are missing the light. Whatever kind of light that comes through from behind me, even though that window is always locked, um, I'm guessing it looks good. Okay, good, good, good. Thank you, Jacqueline. Jacqueline says it's looking great. And hello, Stephanie from San Francisco. 5 o'clock on San Francisco, I'm assuming. 5 p.m. should be 5 p.m. over there. And yeah, thank you all for connecting. Solo Nube 2.0. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get started tonight by pulling a card from the whatchamacallit, Unbridled Spirit Tarot. I was very excited. I was talking to Tina earlier. Well, I wasn't talking, I just sent a message to her because Llewellyn came out with a tarot calendar and they are featuring the Unbridled Spirit Tarot. And I was telling Tina that I'm so excited about that for them, and that for whatever reason, I really love the Unbridled Spirit um, tarot that they created, Tina and Dianita. And Stephanie says, yes, 5 p.m. in San Francisco. San Francisco. San Francisco. So we have, ooh, this guy is falling off the horse. Okay, our first card for today, the Hangman. Oh, that's why it looked like that. So it's the Hangman. And this is just a card for us to kind of open the evening. This is the image. It looks like I'm a little sniffly. So it definitely looks darker in here for me. I think it's because it's nighttime, I swear. In an American Western show, a man from the Caucasus region performs a precarious maneuver called the Cossack drag, part of a form of equestrian called Jigitovka. The military used these skills to help those in battle have an advantage in fighting in any situation. The spirit of the hangman has found this man in a new situation. He has surrendered himself to the universe rather than resisting change or refusing to adapt. He has transitioned, finding a way to make his new circumstances work in his favor. How can you be more like him as you face challenges? Well, I don't know, but we are being advised and or reminded of the hanging man, which is sometimes an energy to sacrifice to offer something sacred in order to obtain a reward. uh you know, put yourself out there, says Jacqueline. Hello, Joe Flodits. I'm so glad that you're here. And Stephanie, and I don't know, it says 4 people are watching on Facebook Live. Remember, if you don't comment, I don't know who's all watching. And if you don't comment, I don't know who to say hi to. Anyway, hello, Jorge Gradilla. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh, what the heck? Jorge Gradilla, I'm from Mexico. I'm assuming that you're in Mexico. So, the card of the year for 2026. 2025, we had the card of the year as the Hermit. And this card was telling us last year. Joe Flodit says everybody has the flu. I'm so sorry. Kim, who is here on Facebook, welcome, welcome, welcome. And Joe Floditz, I hope everybody feels much, much better real soon. I think I'm coming out with something. I'm a little sniffly. Anywho, um, last year, 2025, we have the Hermit. I went to look at last year's video just to, just out of curiosity. And I looked so sad and I looked so distraught and I was so in so much pain. We had just put Uno down last year on the 27th, and the video for the tarot card of the year was done on the 28th. And hello, Janet. And yeah, I was so sad. Not that I'm not sad today. Of course, I'm super sad because Uno is no longer with us. But talk about hustling, man. I did the video. I can't believe I actually did the video. Hello, Eric Winehouse. Oh my God, it's been a while. Eric Winehouse and Big Papa is here. So last year we have the Hermit, right? And the message for last year was introspection, reflection, finding our light within, finding a connection with ourselves, and obtaining wisdom, right? The complementary card for the Hermit last year was the Moon. Eyes closed, uh, instinct, and being inside, being within, right? That was the um, message, if you will, from the Moon. And then, of course, we tap into what happens when they reverse and all that. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, I hate it. Sometimes I hate it when I'm so right on the money or when the tarot is so explicit, because certainly 2025 was a hermit year for a lot of us. A lot of us people who have brown skin, um, some of us who are privileged enough to work from home, um, decide not to go out a whole lot because, there is open season on wabbits. I'm trying to be humorous, but there's nothing funny about why a lot of us brown folk have to stay put at home, because there are Nazis out there kidnapping us and sending us to torture chambers and all that. So I'm going to try to stick to tarot. Hello, Jesse Duran. I'm going to try to stick to tarot. So for today, we're going to be talking about next year, right? 2025, it has one. I have a friend that counts the days on sleeps. So one sleep, two sleeps, three sleeps, four sleeps, five sleeps. 5 more days. 5 more days for the worst year of our lives to be over. Um, if this was not the worst year of your life, were you alive? Um, and if it wasn't that bad for you, more power to you. That means you have a whole lot of privilege. I hope you're using that privilege like a superpower to be out and about loud and fighting for human rights, etc. Again, I'm going to try to stick to tarot. And we're going to have the first card of the year, or the card of the year for 2026, revealed in just a few seconds. I'm itching to give the first reading for somebody. So to the first person that writes down me, I have a question. The first person who says me, I have a question, I'm going to pull a card for you tonight, because I'm itching to be generous and to start the party and to have fun. Janet says, I miss my cat. I'm sorry. I miss Uno like nobody's business. It's ridiculous. Um, so who says me? Me, I want a reading. Me first. I have a question. There's Jacqueline. Okay, Jacqueline, you have a question. Jacqueline did it first, but Joe Flo did, so I'm going to pull a card for you as well. So two cards. I'm going to pull two cards for two people here. And Jacqueline, I don't know what the question is. I don't know what you need in your life, but for everybody, I guess, because we're all here. Let us take a deep breath and ask the divine to be with us. And I'm just going to shuffle one more time. So the first card is going to be for Jacqueline. Oh, Jacqueline is forfeiting. Jacqueline says, give it to Joe. Thank you, Jacqueline. Um, but no, I feel that I want to pull the two cards. So I'm going to pull one card for Jacqueline. The first card is for Jacqueline. The second card is going to be for Joe Flo Dietz. And then later, there's going to be other opportunities. You have to be quick. Um, you got to be quick. You gotta be quick. Okay, card for Jacqueline. You have the Seven of Wands that is reverse. And it's just an advice to remove a little bit of the walls that you have put in there. Coincidentally, it kind of matches the vibe of the year ending. I guess this year you have been very guarded and very reserved. And the advice for you as of this weekend, I guess, is that you don't need to be as reserved. You don't need to be so much on a defensive, protective, so very actively protecting yourself, Jacqueline. So that will be the message for you today. And let's pull one for Joe Floditz. Da, 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 da. I have to be reminded of the hairstyle that you taught us the other day. I can't remember. For the life of me, I cannot remember how to do it. And I wanted to try it. Okay, Joe Floditz, you have the world. You have it reversed. Of course, you have the world reversed, my dear. When everybody has flu at your house, it's talking about. Thank you, Janet. Janet says I froze up a little bit. I guess I'm back. Thank you for letting me know. Um, Joe Floditz, you are being advised to stay put, to stay home, to not go out and be too social for the time being. When the card of the world comes right side up, it's obviously telling us to go out and to be social and to do things out on the planet, out on the world. And when the card is reversed, it's literally telling us, hey, stay put, don't go out. This is not the time to be going out. And some people interpret it directly as traveling. So if you were planning on traveling anytime soon, dot your I's, cross your T's, and make sure um, be aware of possible setbacks. All right, thank you. She says, let's set up a date and I teach you how. She does this hairstyle that is very beautiful with the two braids, but then they go up and on a bow, and it's just very pretty. Okay, drum roll. The card for 2026, I am incredibly pleased to share with you, that is the Wheel of Fortune. Da 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 da. First of all, as a daughter and devotee of Goddess Fortuna, I'm elated. I'm super happy. I'm really, really, really satisfied that the card for the year is gonna be the Wheel of Fortune, which means our fortune, our luck, our guidance for the next year changes. Things are moving along, the wheel is turning, and there will be um, a more balanced year. And when you think about it, when you have the hermit, right, that was telling us Don't go out, don't do anything. You have to work inside. You have to prepare. You have to find what you're made of. And boy, did we. Boy, did we find what we are made of. I mean, there was no escaping on 2025 to really consult within what we are made of, what we stand for, what we believe, um, how we're going to navigate the planet. There was a lot of introspection. There was a lot of learning who we are, etc. So that prepared us for the next card. About darn time, says Jacqueline. I agree. So the card will be the Wheel of the Year, right? And what is this card representing? Well, first of all, is the quintessential Wheel of Time, the Wheel of Tarot, the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of the Year, um, and is mainly representing cycles, right? Something's got to give. You cannot be in the darkness forever. You cannot be in chaos forever. You cannot be in planning things forever, right? Things have to be grounded, things have to be materialized. Chaos begets order, and from chaos comes creation. So the wheel, I always tell people, even when the wheel comes upside down, never forget that the wheel never stops moving, right? The wheel is in constant movement. So for us having the wheel for 2026, I think that in a very simple layman terms is telling us things are going to turn around, right? And I think everybody under cousin wants things to turn around. Uh, we all want those big changes to start happening. And I think that the ending of 2025 and the people um, grasping at straws and being scared and desperate to assert their oppression and not being able to assert their oppression um, are actually showing us that things are 2025 no more. 2026 is going to be different. Stephanie says, I overcame some big obstacles in 2025. I think we all did, as a collective, as humanity, as people who exist in the United States. I think we all have overcome great challenges, but also our personal challenges, right? This was my first year without my dog. This was my first year being persecuted as a brown person. This was my first year working only from home. So there are some challenges. This was my first year where I was open for y'all to be generous and to accept tips and stuff like that, which I almost never have asked. That was not um, how I handle my business. But this year I was like, I'm open to tips, and y'all have been very generous. I want to say welcome, Bita Sa, and welcome, Mestiza Shop. We are doing the card of the year for 2026. The card of the year is the Wheel of Fortune, and I have been explaining for the past 7 minutes how this card is talking about changes. Things are moving on for the better. We are overcoming challenges. We are coming out of our hermit year. We're going to be more social. We're going to be more part of the society, and we're going to help things move along, right? Part of the wheel is the comprehension that they are cycles, right? And we all live within these cycles, but we quite often are not very conscious of the cycles. So what are the cycles that I'm talking about? Well, it could be as easy as the seasons, right? Spring, summer, fall, winter. It could be the stages of the day, right? Dawn, and then the morning, and then noon, and then evening, and then dusk, and then midnight, and then dawn again, and so on and so forth. It could also be our life, right? We are children, and then we become teenagers, and then we become adults, and then eventually we will become very, very elderly people, and eventually we will become part of the universe once again. And if you believe in such thing, rinse and repeat, right? They say some people believe that we come back. I would like to come back as a dog, please, and thank you. Hello, Ben Simpson, author. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, it's talking about cycles. It's talking about understanding and comprehending that we cannot be having good fortune all day, every day, all the time. The sun don't shine 24 hours unless you're in the North Pole, which it will be in summer. I think they have a few days of light, but in a regular, not North Pole instance, the sun cannot shine for 24/7, or the night. It cannot be night forever, right? And this card of the Wheel of Fortune reminds us, in a way, you know why? To be flexible, to understand that there are times of good fortune and there are times of not such good fortune. One of the things that I really love about our people, the Mexica people, the so-called Mesoamerican people, there is no word for bad. So things are good or not so good. There is no bad things. They are not so good. And when I learned that, I immediately integrated to the way that I express myself and the way that I see life, try to see life as much as I can. And with fortune, I think is very much like that. With the Wheel of Fortune is very much like that. There are things that are really good, and then there are things that are not so good, right? And then we go out of that and we go back into things that are good. Big Papa said, I love that. Me too. Me too, honey. Because I'm like, we can understand that the cycles of nature are such. And there are times to harvest, right? On summer, the end of summer, we harvest and we have that abundance. And then in winter, we have to be measured and we have to count our blessings and we have to, understand that the cycles of life do the thing. So I'm elated to say this is the card for the year 2026. And even when this card eclipses itself and times are not so good, we have the promise that the wheel never stops. And do me a favor, if you take something from this life today, take this. The wheel never stops. You can't stop the wheel. You can't hold on to it and make it stop because the wheel is in constant movement. So when things are not so good, the wheel never stops. It will move and it will come back up and again. Okay, do you want a free reading? Do you want a free reading? Say me right now. Yes, me. I want a free reading. Yes, me. Who said yes, me? Who wants a free reading? It's time for us to use an oracle. And yes, Vita. Oh, Big Papa said me, 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 me. Big Papa. Big Papa says, I want a reading. Sorry, everybody else. Big Papa was like, me, me, me. They were very quick. Hello, Kiki Quintana. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Jessica McGinn, did I say welcome? I didn't see you come in. Welcome, Jessica McGinn and Kiki Quintana. Okay, I know this is for Big Papa, but for everybody who said me, 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 this is an oracle, right? Hello, Cindy Swims. So, if you wish to make this for you as well, please do it. Let's see what we have for Big Papa today. Ooh, this one stuck to my hand. And is the inner core. Big Papa says I put the chariot earlier and it mentioned the wheel. The wheel brings change through choice. Absolutely. Absolutely. So for Big Papa and everybody else who would like to take this card for themselves, is the card of the inner core. Inner core, let's see. Inner core. And the message is solidity. Solidity. It reminds me of the wheel. It's a wheel after all. It is a wheel. You see it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, inner core. Stay constant in your endeavors. Do not stop your progress. Seek those who are reliable and solid. Keep your promises. The greatest power is from the inside out. Stay constant in your endeavors. Do not stop your progress. Seek those who are reliable and solid. Keep your promises. The greatest power is from the inside out. Okay, first gift. First gift for today. I'm going to ask you a question. The first person that answers me correctly is going to get a 3-card pool that we can do on a live chat whenever you have time from here till February 15th. If you don't claim your prize after February 15th, I'm so sorry, but they're going to be gone, right? So, question number 1. I have 2 assistants that help me with Blue Witch LLC. Do you know their names? It's 2 of them. If you know their names, you get a 3-card reading privately for you. And you have to answer real quick. Let's see if anybody know the name of my 2 assistants. There's 2 of them. Come on, guys. I mention them quite often on the coffee break. Angels on your gut? Nope. I met them before. Oh, I'm so bad with names. I follow at least one of them, but no names. Okay, at least one name. I mention her name quite often. I mention their name quite often. Okay, going once. Andrea! I was thinking Joe should know. Joe should know. And it was, oh, we have a tie because Kim Hu and Joe Floditz answered the same time. So, well, what the heck? There's got to be 2 readings. So, Kim Hu and Joe Floditz, you'll have to hit me up privately so we can set up a time to get your 3-card pool as a gift from me to you for being a follower here on Blue Witch, you know, the coffee break and everything that I do. And I have to say, Kim, who has been following and supporting and a real good friend for about 10 years now, Kim. I don't want to die, but I don't want to die. I don't want to lie. I also don't want to die. But Kim, I will say 10 years. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Joe Floditz, we just met a year ago ish. But boy, do I freaking love you. I do. Anyway, let's go to the complementary cards. Because remember, every tarot card on the major arcana, it's going to have a complementary card. And that complementary card is giving us extra. Kim, who says, I find you through your art. I can't remember the year. I don't know. It's just been a minute. And then I know I met you at a circle. I don't know. I think it's at least 7 years. because it was at Circle. Anyway, Circle Sanctuary, for those who don't know, I'm a Circle Sanctuary minister, and that's where Kim and I met in person. Because you give me a reading. You were doing the crystal readings. And I think that was like 10 years ago. But I might be mistaken. Anyway, the complimentary card for the Wheel of Fortune is the Magician. Guys, is the Magician. You know how they say, if you ever feel that your power is lacking and you want to feel empowered to do the hero stand and to separate your legs width apart and put your hands on your hips, you want to feel powerful, this is the position you want to take. This is a true mystical antenna, the magician who is pulling the energy. Where am I? Pulling the energy from above and below. He is pulling energy from sky and from the core of the earth. And as he pulls that energy goes through him. He alchemizes that energy, he transforms that energy, and then he directs it through the earth and creates and materializes all these things. So I believe, and when I have clients that are seeking for empowerment, which is the majority of my clients, I highly recommend to do the magician stand, um, to pull that energy from the earth and the heavens and alchemize, transform it within you, and then direct that energy, right? Having an intention, having a clear um, path or a clear, um, yeah, intention. There's a word, but I can't think of the word. Purpose, having a clear purpose, right? Hello, Alexa Rose. What are you doing so late at night? Are you in Chicago, Alexa? Because if you are in Germany, guten whatever midnight is, um, 2 o'clock in the morning in Germany, unless if you're in Chicago, none of my business anyway, but hello, Alexa. So the magician speaks of power. Um, Jacqueline mentioned the infinity sign. Absolutely. The power of the magician is infinite because he or they are pulling energy from the heavens. They're pulling energy from the earth. They're pulling energy from the cosmos. They're pulling energy from all of nature, right? And they are transforming that energy within them. And they are utilizing that energy to materialize the world that they want to inhabit. It is a very powerful card. So when you pair them both, right? Let's see if this fits on the screen. Barely. When you pair them together, I don't know if it's gonna fit like this. No, well, you don't need to see me as long as you see the cards. There they are. When you pair these two guys together, I'm here. Hello, I'm here in the corner. When you pair the Wheel of Fortune with the Magician, we are getting the message of the time is right and the powers are yours. You guys, I mean, I am not making this up. You know, I'm not in the BS business. I'm on the healing business. And when I was telling you throughout the week that it was going to be a very good card, I mean, I've known since last year that this is the card for the year. And the magician is telling us, hey, you have the power. You have the power to materialize what you want. You have the power to pull energy from the heaven and sky. You have the power to transform anything that is served to you. You have the ability to work with all of the elements of nature, to work with all of the elements of magic. That's why on his table he's got the cup, the pentacle, the wand, and the sword, because he is able to work with all four magical elements and materialize and create a new life, right? The power of creating your own reality. So when you have the power to create your own reality despite the circumstances on the planet, and then you pair that with a Wheel of Fortune that is telling us, hey, the time is right. It looks like things are going to accommodate themselves. It's a very positive message. I really, really like it. Now, let's not romanticize things. I always tell you, the cards also have an eclipse and or reversed meaning. So what happens when our magician is reversed? What happened when one or more or most powerful uh, characters on the tarot, one or more powerful archetypes is reversed? Well, if I am usually very powerful, when I'm eclipsed, when I'm not shining to my full bright light, I feel powerless. I start feeling like the power has been taken away from me. I start feeling like I have to control everything. I start feeling capricious. I start feeling that I want to grasp straws. I feel that I need to regain control. And we know that when a person bases their power into having power over others, that is not real power, that is oppression, right? So we have to be very cautious and we have to trust that wheel, right? That there are moments that we are going to be very okay, and there are moments where maybe we're not going to be okay, and that's okay. We have to let the wheel turn. This year is going to be all about being patient and waiting for that wheel to turn again, and not to lose faith on ourselves. I'm not telling you about a religion. I'm telling you about believing in yourself. Because the card that you have to keep you company for the rest of the year is the card of the magician, right? And Jacqueline says when the cup is empty. Yeah, there will be times when the cup is empty because we have to empty the cup to fill it back up again. So, wheel of the um, wheel of fortune is constantly moving. The time is now. And for some people, the wheel is literally time, right? It's time itself, that it never stops and it continues going. And then the magician brings this, oh, and by the way, you have the power to take advantage of the good times. You have the power to navigate with eyes wide open the not so good times. You have the tools to go around the wheel. It's just a beautiful, beautiful reading for this year. I am enamored of it. And with that, we're going to have our second three-card pool free for a person. And the question is, listen to the question. Listen closely. This year, I didn't go out and present it out on events, but I did a bunch of online stuff. I did a presentation online. I did another summit online. I did a class online. I did a la la la. I did a lot of stuff online. Tell me one of those. One of those. Either the ones that I did with other magicians and witches, or the one that I did on my own. I only did one workshop this year. If you know the name of one of these big events that I did online, either the name of the summit, the name of the class, who did I present it with, something about it, I did this year. I did like 5 or 6 different big online presentations, summits and such. Y'all have to remember, I've been promoting that stuff. Left and right and left and right and left and right. The goddess. Jacqueline says the goddess, but what goddess? What about the goddess? Because that's very vague. I want more specific. I did a bunch. I did do a bunch. Janet says, I'm trusting the universe and just letting things come together. That's the best thing you can do. Anybody? Somebody? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? Okay, I'm gonna give you all 1 more minute to give me specific name of one of the very many presentations and things that I did. Shadow work, says Kim. But Kim, you already won a reading. Uh, which Within Summit. There you go. Cindy Swims, the Witch Within Summit. I did two. I did two Witch Within Summit. On the first one, I did talking about the goddesses, I think. And the second one was about shadow work on the Witch Within Summit. So, Cindy Swims, you are one of the winners. Though I have to say, Kim Hu, as per usual, you know better. Because great supporter. Thank you, thank you, thank you, dear friend. Uh, it was an awesome workshop, she said. It was. We were talking about Tezcatlipoca and Tlazolteotl. The colonizing the goddess was the glasses that I was doing. That's why I didn't take the goddess as an answer. I did workshops with Wendy Mata on prosperity. I did a presentation for Day of the Dead with EPSAT. I did the Llewellyn um, online summit, and I talk about the Mesoamerican mother goddesses. I did with Elohim Liafar or Sorcery Hour, talking about Chantico and Huitzilopochtli. Um, and we did my personal, the one workshop that I did, the hero's journey, with the tarot, with the major arcana on the tarot. So there was like 6 or 7 events that were done all online, all part of like summits and presentations. I even did a podcast for with Wendy Mata with Brujaco. So thank you, Cindy Swims. Again, 3 card reading. Hit me up so that we can find a date and time for y'all to have your reading. So I have given out 3 readings, 3 card readings. Kim Hu, Joe Floditz, and Cindy Swims. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And hello, Jungi and Laura. Welcome to the card of 2026. The next 3 card reading is going to be a very, very super easy question, and you really have to type super fast. But before we go into the next question, I'm going to pull one more oracle card. Say oracle. The first person that says oracle. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. There you go, Big Papa. But didn't you go already, Big Papa? Okay, Big Papa, Jacqueline. I guess I'm gonna pull an oracle for all of us because Big Papa already went, Jacqueline already went. Let's see if one more person that hasn't gone already says oracle. And if you see me going like crazy, like left, right, is because I'm looking at Instagram and I'm looking at Facebook. Hmm. Big Papa. Big Papa is doing the emoji. Janet. Okay, Janet says Oracle here on Facebook. We're going to give it to Janet. But, as per usual, guys, if this information pertains to you and brings you healing, you are meant to hear it. Everybody that is here is meant to hear this. So, we all are going to take healing from it, but it's directly directed to Janet. That sounds a little weird. Directly directed. We have the orca. Janet, the orca. One of the most beautiful animals in the planet. And it's funny because I used to be called, as a way to be offensive, as a way of bullying. People will call me orca or whale. And I'm like, you're calling me the most powerful mammal in the planet? as a way to bully me? Try again. Orca. Janet, this message is for you. You are walking in the bloodlines of your ancestors, but you are an individual who makes your own destiny. Seek better communication with family, nourish yourself, and exercise extreme self care. Share your skills with others. And of course, I think this applies to all of us, right? You are walking in the bloodlines of your ancestors, but you are an individual who makes your own destiny. Seek better communication with family, nourish yourself, and exercise extreme self care. Share your skills with others. All right, all right. So there is one more card, guys, because when you add 2026, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6, it gives you the number 10. In tarot, each number is reduced to one digit. In this case, number 1. N is usually one card, right? Hello, Deborah Blake. Deborah Blake, who invited me to her book, uh, something about the gods and goddesses of witches practices. I can't remember the exact name of the title of the book, but it's coming in 2026, and I am so honored to be part of it. So, hi, Deborah Blake. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I was telling you, when you do the numerology, right? 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2, 2026, it gives you 10. You reduce that to one digit, and that is the number. Well, it just so happened that in tarot, there are two that have three cards. That will be the number 1 and the number 2. In the case of 2026, it gives us a 1. And that number 1, obviously, 10 will be the wheel of the year. And then the second one will be 1, which is the magician. There's the title, The Everyday Witch's Book of Deities. I'm so sorry, Deborah. I always forget the name. I have asked her the name of the book like 25 times. I swear. That's the name of the book, Everyday Witch's Book of Deities. And yours truly wrote a little piece about Mercury and Fortuna, how time in, that is the wheel of the year, the wheel of fortune for the year. And I'm laughing because the author says I forget to. You are a riot and I love you. Beauty Victoria, Paint, welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah, I wrote about Mercury and Fortuna, and the book is going to come out on the year of the Wheel of Fortune. But as I was telling you, um, the number is number 10. The companion card reduced through the numerology will be number 1, the magician. But this one happens to have a second one because when you do 9 and 1, it gives you 10 again. And that will be our extra card is the card of the sun. Oh my goodness. Hello, Sandia. Sandia is saying congratulations on the book. And yeah, congratulations to Deborah. And thank you. Congratulations for me. I'm part of the book. I wrote a little article, a little part of the book, a little excerpt, I guess. Is that the correct word? What is the word, Deborah? I don't know. Collaboration. So the sun is shining up above us. The sun will be shining up above us all of 2026 is one of the complementary cards for the wheel. Look at that beautiful visual. I just love it. And the card of the sun, uh, contrary from the moon was side, it was the profile, the eyes were closed, right? The sun is facing us, the sun is front facing us, the eyes are wide open, And that means that we have gone through a lot of introspection, that we have learned a lot about ourselves, and that now we do not close our eyes. Our eyes are wide open. Yes, it was a challenge to go through that. However, now our eyes are wide open. We are awake. We are woke. We are awake. We are conscious. Our eyes are wide open. And we have freed ourselves from a lot of hangups that we had before we went into that big introspection for the whole year. So it's funny because throughout the year I've been repeating to you and I've been telling you the fact that we go through trauma does not make us resilient. We already had a resiliency. The trauma just underlines that resiliency. Resiliency, strength, ingenuity, resistance, empathy, sympathy, etc. I love the name Crunchy Gordita. Welcome, 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 Crunchy Gordita. Um, so, being as it is that we have a very eventful and for some people very traumatic 2025, 2026 presents itself with more consciousness, with more awakeness, with eyes wide open. And I have said it before and I will say it forever. Once we open our eyes, we can't close them back up. This is very interesting. Cindy Swims shares with us. It would also be the year of the fire horse in Chinese astrology. Interesting how the symbolism on this sun card intersects. Absolutely. Because the horse represents our instinct, and the child that appear to be vulnerable represents our inner child. And what the horse with the child are telling us that is that as we have met our inner child and we have learned to listen to our inner child, our instinct is understood, not necessarily tamed, but is worked with. So the inner child is not trumping of the intuition or the instinct. The instinct is not doing that to the inner child. It's a cooperation. It's a cooperative work. And the fact that there is a fence, a wall behind them, is talking about, you guessed it, Sandia, boundaries, right? So the card of the sun represents happiness, represents instinct, represents our inner child, represents being awake, shining through, having a childlike outview of life, choosing happiness. Did I say choosing happiness already? But in order to have all of that, you really have to work on your boundaries. 2025 was the snake fitting for such a difficult year. Yes. Jacqueline has to go. Thank you, Jacqueline. Hit me up for the free reading that you. Oh no, you didn't win. I'm sorry, Jacqueline. I'm tripping here. Uh, anyway, the card of the sun is telling us to be happy, to be joyful, to choose happiness, to be awake, to have good boundaries, right? And if anything was pointed out at us during 2025, is that community is a paramount. Community is the most important part of our lives. The immediate relationships that we have with our neighbors, with our friends, with our community, with the people that we relate, whether it is spiritually or because of a hobby or a connected interest or a region or a language or, it is our community that will carry us through. And I will forever be grateful for y'all because you all have carried me through 2025. And with that, I want to say I am open to receive tips, especially if like my work, please. Venmo at Lau Cerati, Lau underscore Cerati, LAU underscore CERATI 1. If you think that Zelle is a lot easier, go to Zelle. My phone number 630-506-1758. No tip is too small, no tip is too big. Any tip is a good tip. And let me just tell you a little bit about Blue Witch and what's going to happen in 2026. We're going to start the year. I'm going to have a presentation. We're going to talk about the birth of the sun god with the people from FSAT. That's going to be on January 12th. And also on January 12th, we're going to have a podcast, the Lunatic Mondays podcast, with Jessamine Angelica. We're going to be talking about her book, Llewellyn's Complete Book of the Moon. That's going to happen on January. On February, we start again with our series of decolonizing. In this case, this year is going to be decolonizing the god. Tlacateteo is the name. Tlacateteo. Decolonizing the god. And we're going to be visiting uh, masculine energies, masculine gods and goddesses. And there is a whole bunch of them: Quetzalcoatl, Tezcatlipoca, Huitzilopochtli, Tonacatecutli. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. I cannot think of all of them right now. I think we're going to open with Quetzalcoatl on February. And, it's going to be a whole series. We're going to do 11 classes for 2026 and 12 for 2027. They are all programmed. You can go to the website. By the way, Andrea has been working so hard on the website. So I really, really invite you all to go to bluewitch.org, 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 and look at the uh, current offerings. There are all the classes for the Tlacateteo. You can start signing up for them as we speak. And or our community circles, they got revamped again. They got a new name. So they're going to be called Embodying the Teteo, which is practice of practicing the wisdom of these deities, right? When they are philosophically telling us, right, their teachings. We're going to do a circle of discussion in which we're going to talk about, in the case of February, Quetzalcoatl, and I think we pair Quetzalcoatl with Xochiquetzali, but I am not sure. I might be mistaken. Don't believe me. Well, let me just go look at the calendar. Current offerings. Let's see. Embodying the Teteo. For February, we pair Quetzalcoatl with Coatlicue. So in February, Embodying the Teteo, we're going to be talking about the wisdom and the teachings of Coatlicue and Quetzalcoatl. For people that are coming to the Decolonizing the Goddess classes, it's going to be very easy to come and talk about that wisdom. But fear not, if you didn't go to my classes and you still want to come and learn, I'm going to talk about the basic philosophy of these teteos, and then we're going to have a discussion on how to apply that knowledge. Those are not only donation-based, but they are incredibly healing. It's going to be the same format as a community circle, but it's going to be geared towards the knowledge and the wisdom of two teteos, a masculine and a feminine teteo. Real, welcome to today. I have one more tarot card that I want to pull for one person. So say tarot. You have to put the word tarot on the comments. Gotta go. Sent a little tip on Venmo. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you, Big Papa. And Sandia jumped from Facebook to Instagram. Thank you, Sandia. The first person that writes the word tarot will get a tarot card pulled for today. There you go. Cindy Swims. Wait, didn't you? Cindy, oh no, you win a question. You win a question. Um, I'm gonna combine it for Cindy and Jessica. Oh, and Alejandra Zoe just said tarot here on Facebook. So once again, folks, it is aimed for Cindy. However, if you're here, if you're listening, it's gonna apply for you as well. Let's see what Cindy asks for. Look at that, Cindy. You have the card of the Emperor. Hello, Rahisi. Jessica McGinn says, I'm at work, so it's hard for me to type. No worries. So, for Cindy Swims and everybody else who asked a question when I was pulling, the Emperor is asking us to implement some order, to be a little bit more organized, to be a little bit more um, direct, right? A little bit more collected and concise, to think more in a way of productivity and masculine ways of order, and supposedly no emotional, because men are not emotional. BS. um Forget about the gender of the card. The card is about order. It's about being cool and collected. It's about being effective. It's about being direct, and it's about having a structure, schedule, uh you know concise information, and etc. So that is the card for y'all. I have one last question, and this is for the fourth and last three card reading. And this is going to be the easiest question. So y'all have to be very quick, because this is the easiest question. This is the one thing that years prior I told you, you cannot answer that. That is a forbidden answer. Well, today, this is the answer that will win you a three card reading. What was my beverage of choice for 27 years? And I just quit drinking that beverage a year ago. This was my beverage of choice. I used to drink it all the time. And this year I said no more, because I'm not going to be giving my money to a company that got rid of DEI and was colonized under Diet Coke. Right, easy one. Rahisi got it right away. Diet Coke. There you go. Uh, Rahisi, you won the reading. You won the last three card reading. Uh, and that was quick. I knew somebody was gonna get it super quick. It was indeed Diet Coke. Um, Later, it got debunked. Allegedly, they didn't call ICE on their workers. By then, I already quit drinking it, and they've been doing some shady stuff anyway. So, uh, we are actively boycotting a lot of big companies. I'm not even gonna say their names because they're not paying me. But we're not going to certain stores. We're definitely not shopping online. We're definitely not shopping for home improvements, because they are, even though this company for home improvement has been quintessentially known for Mexican laborers, giving them business, and they are allowing ICE to go and kidnap people on their parking lots. So, no, we're not doing that. And this beverage is also doing shady stuff. So the power that we have at this moment as people to come together and save the world is the power of our wallet. And I used to joke around saying that I wanted to buy shares for this company of the beverage, because I love the brand, and I love what it stands for, and I love the uh, bear, and now I'm like, nope. I rather give my money to a Mexican soda company. I don't drink that much soda anymore anyway. I am a water drinker now after 52 years of existence. Finally got into the water. So believe me when I tell you, if I could quit smoking, drinking, and drinking that beverage, you can do anything. If I was able to quit drinking that beverage, you can do anything you put your mind into. I am very happy that the cards that we have for the next year are such beautiful cards. The Wheel of Fortune that is telling us everything just continues. We just have to hang on and keep going. That we have the power to go through it. We have everything that we need and we know how to handle ourselves. And we have the ability to choose happiness no matter what our circumstances are. I love tarot. And of course, I love you. And I'm very grateful that you joined me. We went over the 1 hour as per usual. Thank you for your donations. Venmo, LAU underscore CERATI number 1. Zelle 630-506-1758. And I'll see you when I'll see you next year on the 7th. Will be our first coffee break. And until we meet again, my name is Laura Gonzalez, the Blue Witch. And until we meet again, never forget that you are loved. Maybe you have a very, very, very blessed new year. And may we all find freedom and happiness and good fortune and joy, and except for the racists and the Nazis. Love you too. Love you too, Sandy. I love you, everyone. Um, there is something that floats on Instagram and Facebook where it says, I love you. And somebody says, but you don't love me. How can you love me? And then the meme says, people hate people when they don't know them. I can certainly love you if I don't know you. So, um, Rahisi, Cindy Swims, Kim Hu, and Joe Floditz, y'all need to private message me so I can give you a link so you can book me for your 3 card readings that you want. Thank you, Miss Tisa. Thank you, Joe Floditz. Thank you, Cindy Swims, Jessica, Rahisi, Sandia, Jacqueline, who left earlier, Crunchy Gordita, everybody, Deborah, everybody that joined us on the live. Until we meet again, you are loved. Bye bye. May the blessings of the Wheel of Fortune be with us the whole year, and the blessings of Goddess Fortuna. Now I feel that I want to give you the blessing of Goddess Fortuna, but I can't remember what it is. I can't remember. So may the blessings of Goddess Fortuna be with us throughout 2026. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everybody. I keep saying I'm leaving, but okay, bye bye. Love you, love you, love you. Bye bye.